Welcome back, students. In today's session, we'll discuss the important developmental stages in the human embryo. In the previous session, I discussed about gastrulation process. You already know that the process of transformation of single-layered blastula into three-layered gastrula is called gastrulation. During the process of gastrulation, three germ layers are formed: outer ectoderm, inner endoderm, and middle mesoderm. Soon after the formation of these three germ layers, they start to differentiate. And some of the ectodermal cells derived into tissues, and these ectodermal cells, endodermal cells, mesodermal cells, they derive into tissues by the process called histogenesis. And some of these germinal cells which are derived into organs by the process called organogenesis. So as a result of this, the entire body plan is derived from three germ layers. And such animals are called triploblastic animals. If the body plan is derived from only two germ layers, if entire body plan is derived from only two germ layers, such animals are called diploblastic animals. So you already know that human beings are triploblastic. The entire body plan is derived from three germ layers. So let us start with the developmental stages. So as you know that immediately after fertilization, the zygote enters into the three developmental stages: cleavage, blastula, and gastrula. By the end of first month of pregnancy, heart is formed. By the end of second month of pregnancy, limbs and digits are formed. And by the end of third month of pregnancy, the most of the organ system, external genital organs are formed. So along with this, by the end of third month of pregnancy, an organic connection develops between mother and fetus, and that organic connection we call it as a placenta. So by the end of the fifth month of pregnancy, the first moment of fetus appearance, fetus starts, and appearance of hair on the head. And by the end of 6 months of pregnancy, the body is covered with the fine hair, and eyelids are separate, and eyelashes are formed. By the end of 9th month of pregnancy, the fully developed fetus are ready for delivery by the process called parturition. So the question arises, what is parturition? The process of expelling the full-term baby from the mother's uterus at the end of pregnancy is called parturition, or the process of delivery of the baby is called parturition. You remember one thing, after the gestation period or pregnancy period, the signals originates from fully developed fetus and placenta that induce mild contraction of uterine muscles. And that process we call it as a fetal ejection reflex. So it takes place in about 280 days from the mother's last menstruation. So fetal ejection reflex takes place, and that stimulates the posterior lobe of pituitary to release a hormone called oxytocin. The fetal signals or the fetal ejection reflexes, that is that it is mature by secreting ACTH hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, from the pituitary. So the corticosteroid hormones from the adrenal cortex diffuses through the blood, through placenta into mother's blood, and finally it reaches the pituitary gland. So posterior lobe of pituitary gland that induce oxytocin hormone. So once the oxytocin hormone is released from the posterior lobe of pituitary, that induce vigorous contraction of uterine muscles. That's why the oxytocin hormone is commonly called birth hormone. So oxytocin hormone induce vigorous contraction of uterine muscles. Okay, hence it is called birth hormone. As a result of vigorous contraction of uterine muscles, the pain is initiated in pregnant women. Such pains are called labor pain. And soon after that, okay, the placenta separates from the maternal tissue. Finally the fetus come out, or baby come out of the mother's womb, and by the process called parturition. At the end of parturition, the length of baby is about 53 centimeter long and weighs about 2.7 to 4.5 kgs weight. Okay, 5 kgs of weight. Sometimes fetals fails to come out from the mother's womb. In that cases, the surgical procedure is involved, and that is called cesarean section. Cesarean section. So this completes the parturition process. Next, we'll move on to the lactation. So you already know that the mammary glands are functionally associated with the female reproductive system. And the mammary glands are the modified sweat glands, and each mammary gland is made up of mammary lobes, and within the mammary lobes you find a cluster of cells called alveoli, and these cluster of cells alveoli are are secrete uh, a fluid called milk under the influence of a hormone called lactotropic hormone or lactotropic hormone or lactotropic hormone. So you already know that the mammary glands secrete the milk under the influence of a hormone called lactotropic hormone or prolactin hormone that stimulates mammary glands to secrete or produce milk by the process called lactation at the end of pregnancy. The milk is produced during initial few days is called colostrum, and which is rich in antibodies, and which these antibodies which provides resistance to the newborn baby, or which provides passive immunity to the newborn babies. So you already know that passive immunity means the transfer of antibodies from mothers to child through breast milk is called passive immunity. Passive immunity. So this completes the human reproduction topic. Thank you.